Hey, it's time for another assignment, and I'm so glad that you're here. This assignment is going to be crucial as you continue on in academia. Specifically in your bachelor's and master's program, if you're using APA 7 and you're writing a student paper, this will be your template. This is the best thing that you could hold on to. It will ensure that you don't ever have any errors or issues. Now, they will update the APA 7 manual eventually. However, it's been years since they updated the APA 6. So, my number one strategy as we start is to buy an APA 7 manual. Don't get the substitutes, don't get the basic ones. Make sure that you're investing in an actual APA 7 manual. It's going to have all of the references that we're going to talk about, and it's going to give you a lot of clear instructions. All of chapter 2 is relegated to defining and outlining a student and a professional paper. So it's crucial that you actually invest the $20 or so into buying this book. I will include a link down below that goes directly through an affiliate in Amazon. However, you can usually buy these at any of your university bookstores or even from other students that no longer need them. You might even find somebody that has one laying around. In any case, let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, I'm going to be using the APA 7 manual, but I've got some images that I scanned into myself to make it a little easier for us to follow the material. Here we go. Page 61 of the APA manual. This is where all of the fun starts. The magic happens right here. This is a sample student paper, and this covers literally everything that you're going to need to know. Now, we will build one out, but if you build your paper on this outline, you won't have any issues. This is a student paper, a sample. This will show you what your title page looks like, all of the little important elements throughout, as well as your headings, and even if you scroll, go, all the way down here, it shows you exactly what your references should look like, being a hanging indent, etc. Now, you'll also notice throughout that there are in-text citations, parenthetical and narrative citations. This shows you exactly how you're supposed to do this. You want to follow along in the APA manual. It gives you the headers and everything that you might need as you go forward. So here we go. Let's build this paper out together. The first thing that you'll notice is the header. The header of your paper, if you double click right here, it expands and removes the header. If you double click inside the header, you'll get the header and the footer, and you'll want to add the page number. And where do you want to add it? We're going to align it to the right. There we go. Now, you might think, oh boy, I'm already finished. However, let me just warn you, this is not actually the end. You need to make sure that your font is uniform throughout your paper. That means you highlight here and you go back to the home and change it from Aptos, which no one ever uses or shouldn't use, and I'm a huge fan, call me old-fashioned, I'm a huge fan of just classic Times New Roman and 12-point font. This is what I use for every paper unless I'm specifically told to use something else. No one has ever told me to use something else, so this is what it is. So I make sure that this is set. Now, if you click down here, this header will be on every page, okay? You want this to be on every page. Now, you'll notice that we went back to this annoying Aptos. We don't want Aptos, all right? So let's just switch it right from the rip. Boom, Times New Roman, 12-point. Now we're going to come down a little ways, like 4 or 5, entering about 4 or 5 times until we get not to center, but almost to center. And we're going to put the title of our page as a level 1 heading, which means it's going to be centered and it's going to be bolded. So the title of our page is going to be Student Sample Paper. Now we'll notice that it didn't bold it for some reason, so we're going to go here, make sure it's bolded, come down, unbold. We're going to come down twice, and we're going to put our name. Now this is first name, middle initial, period, last name. Okay. We'll enter down. We're going to put what department and university we're working in. So in this case, I'm going to say this is the social work. Okay, so what's the name of the department and the university name? Enter. Okay, so for the next section, you want to put the class number, colon, and the class name. All right, that's what you would need to put on the paper. Enter. Then you're going to put the name of the professor with the title. So when you're doing this next section, make sure you're aware of what you're actually putting on the paper here. Put the correct title, first name, middle initial, period, last name. My name is Dr. Christopher G. Graham. That means that it's not my dude, it's not professor, it's not anything else except for Dr. Christopher G. Graham. So for whatever class you're putting in, just make sure that you're putting the right appropriate title and name for the instructor. And if you're not sure, just ask. It's okay. Totally cool. Here we go. All right. For the final piece here, we want to make sure that we're putting down the date. Now, the date for this assignment happens to be October 27th, 2024. So you put the date that the assignment is due. Be aware, the only thing that was bolded was this piece right here, and then everything else wasn't bolded. However, you notice that each word is case sensitive. You want to be aware of that, okay? You also want to be cautious of your commas and your spaces. Make sure, please make sure that you're putting the appropriate information here where it belongs. Even a comma misplaced can be a lower grade, and in some cases it could even be misrepresenting someone else's work, which is technically plagiarism. So be mindful of how you fill this out. This is your title page. This will go with you everywhere you go. Let's go a little bit further. So we're going to come down here and we're going to go to page 2, as you note in the header. So in page 2, the first piece of information that you're going to have is your title. And it's going to be a level 1 heading. So we're going to say student sample paper. And this, because it's a level 1 heading, this piece is going to be bolded. Control B or Command B if you're on a Mac. Okay, and then you can, if you want to, you can put a level 1 heading to describe your the content that you're going to be writing. For example, if you're doing a literature review, you might have your first section be introduction or history or something like that. And I will tell you, this is something that I had to figure out even in postgraduate school. Putting headers on your paper really helps the professor to follow your ideas along. The last thing that you want, please, Lord help us all, the last thing that you want is a paper that is 1 paragraph long. We want it to be easy for your reader. Remember, concision and clarity is always more important than cleverness. So as you write, if you think that you need to add more headers, then add headers, just add them appropriately. You can't go wrong with doing this. So let's say that we add a level 1 heading here and we call it intro. Okay. Now this is going to be, because it's level 1, it will be bolded. Now, we're no longer center aligning. We're going to be referring back to the appropriate indentation for your paper. So this is going to be tab 1, so about a 1/2 inch tab, and we'll say okay, so now you notice the paper is indented appropriately. You have a level 1 heading. You also have the title of your paper, and your page number is accurate. So let's move to the next phase here. So level 2 headings are also going to be really important. So in order to do a level 2 heading, it's just bolded and case sensitive. So we're going to say Command B. Level 2 heading, and that would be if you have different sections or subsections inside of one big section. So if I was going to say introduction as my level 1 heading, then my level 2 heading might be something like history or where we came from or something like that, to really identify like this is the next part of this one bigger thought. And you have level 1, 2, 3, and 4 headings. I don't usually go past level 3 if I'm honest, but any kind of headings to help contain your thoughts and guide your reader through your paper are going to be helpful. Just as a little hack here, it's actually also easier to grade your paper when we know what part you're answering. So headings are your friend. So now we come down and we're going to do the last part of this paper outline. Okay, if you noticed before on the APA manual, the student paper on the reference page, this actually is a level 1 heading because it's describing the next section. So we want our paper to have this exactly as it's listed. So here we go. We're on our reference page. This is level 1, so it's going to be center aligned. It's going to be bolded, and it is only going to say references. Done. No colons, no period, don't capitalize every letter. References, case sensitive, bolded, and center aligned. Make sure that there's uniformity in your font across the board and that this level 1 heading is appropriate. Now, this is where things can get a little weird. So when you come down here and you go to the next section, so you don't do a normal 1/2 inch indentation here. You actually want to make sure that it's aligned to the left, but then you want to make it a hanging indent. So you're going to go right here, paragraph, bring this up, paragraph, change this right here to hanging indent. Okay, so now what you'll notice right here in this section is that this is what a hanging indent looks like. The first line is left aligned, but then the rest is indented down. Just makes it easier to follow your references. So we'll hit OK, and we'll say okay, so we have a book reference here, and this would be a hanging indent if we kept typing. So let's just type. All right, you see how it moves over once you get to a certain place. And that would be the whole reference. So also, when you're filling out your references, I have another video that I believe I have posted. I'll try and link it below. And that talks about the way that you do your references. And I would encourage you to use EBSCOhost or a database provider for articles more than books. In any case, this is the entire paper. Now, the last section here, the last part that I really want to point out is that this paper is actually not ready to go. And there's a reason. There's one thing that I see so many people miss here, and it is a simple thing to overlook. So what you do is, if you want to know if this is correct or not, you simply Command A or Control A, which is going to highlight everything, and you're going to make sure that your paragraphs, your spacing, are correct. So I go over here to paragraph and line spacing. So I put this to 0 point before and after, and I want to make this double space. Okay, indentation, I don't touch that because I've already got the indents set where I want them to be. So I just make sure the spacing for the lines is consistent. So here we have 0 points before, 0 points after, and then double spacing on each line. And then we hit OK. And what you notice is that it kind of changed the format here just a little bit. So what we want to do is we want to come back and make sure everything is about where we had it. That means that each page, that means that each topic starts at the beginning of a new page. So your references, same thing. All right, right there. So we have the lines here. And again, I just double clicked to remove the header and footer to make sure that my paper is aligned appropriately. I can see right there. It's good. It's good. And there you have it. This is your APA title page and reference page guide. This template will be able to be used throughout your bachelor's and master's degree. If you're using an APA 7 manual, this is your bread and butter. Feel free to change it to fit the context and content of your class, but if you're looking for a bread and butter template that will follow you through the rest of your academic career, this is it. I hope you found some value in this, and don't forget to share this video with your peers. You probably have colleagues and students that need this information, and it would help them tremendously. If this has blessed you, if it's been useful, give us a like, subscribe for more information. Good luck, and you've got this.